have this stereotype about men that, they just want to have as many mates as possible, that sort of thing. There's some truth to it. I'm not saying that stereotype is complete nonsense, but if you look at cultures where men are allowed to have multiple wives, they generally don't. Something like 90 to 95% of men in non-monogamous cultures, they only marry one woman.
Why do you think that is?
That's a good question. I think that different species have different tendencies, and there's a variety of different forms of evidence that converge on this idea that our strongest tendency is towards serially monogamous pair bonding relationships. One thing that we see is that sexual dimorphism predicts differences in mating strategies. So
what does sexual dimorphism
So
mean?
sexual dimorphism means like the overall physical differences between the sexes in a given species. We see that in species where there's lots of multiple mating, there tends to be very high sexual dimorphism in general. Yes, men are larger and have certain physical differences compared to women, but if you look, even just eyeballing it, look at the difference between, say, male and female gorillas and compare it to male and female humans. By comparison, we look almost the same. And so those species with less dimorphism, at least in primates, tend to be more monogamous. So that's one piece of evidence. Another one is the kind of psychological, emotional evidence, right? So the fact that, for example, we feel romantic love at all. People talk about like, oh, monogamy is a social construct. All right, well, big coincidence that it was socially constructed in every society and culture on Earth. There's no culture that we know of where there's no marriage. There's no culture that we know of where nobody falls in love. There's no culture that we know of where nobody gets jealous. Jealousy, that's a very strong psychological signal that we are interested in, at the very least, stopping our mates from mating with other people.